Alrighty. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Royal Flush, aka Draco Rex, aka the Agent Gambit. Welcome to another edition of the Winning Hand. Just checking to make sure I sound good. Cool, cool. What's up, Jemiah? What's up, Stardust? Thanks for coming through, man. But of course, we get into some gaming topics later, but that's what we're here for. But before I do that, there is a couple of things I do need to speak about, and I'm sure y'all know what it is. I don't want to go too in depth because if I do, it's gonna seem like I'm copping pleas. It's not about that because I spoke way more than I need to about this shit for the last week or so. Here's all I'm gonna say about that situation. There's been a lot of people who knows what's going on with me. You know what I'm saying? Knows the situation, and they speak on, I don't want to say speak on my behalf, but they just spoke on what they saw, what they knew, what they understand. And I appreciate a lot of people who approach it with a level-headed, they stay level-headed about the whole situation. So I do appreciate that. And the judgment that I got from my actions kind of deserved that. Well, not kind of. I totally deserve that shit. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna put anything over anyone. All I want to say about that situation is, yes, I was provoked into doing that. But if I only go with that narrative, right? If I only go with that narrative, then I'm taking all the responsibility out of my hands, and I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I deserve the scrutiny to come along with my actions. I don't want to be like, well, I got provoked into doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, none of it's my fault. No, I can't do that shit. I have to take responsibility for my own actions. That's the right thing to do. Um, and it's not hard. It's not easy. I'm not gonna front. No one likes to admit they're wrong. You feel me? So I mean, I appreciate y'all sticking through with me. I appreciate people at least understanding, why it happened, how it happened, all that kind of stuff. But as a grown man, my dad always says, a man without his honor is nothing more than a coward and a weakling, and I'll be damned if I'm either one of those. You know what I mean? So to protect my honor, I just want to make sure people understand I do feel, some kind of way about the things that I did. I mean, I would rather, what I'm saying? I would rather approach it in a different route, like OBJ was saying. There's a surplus of moves I could have made instead of the moves that I made. Um, whether I was justified or not, that's up to other people to decide. As for me, how I feel about myself is what matters. You know what I mean? And low key, at the same time, I feel like I was not in the wrong, but at the same time, I'm also in the wrong. I can't just like pretend like this shit was completely cool when it's not. And that's all I really want to say. At this point, I'm kind of like exhausted from it. And when I say that, it almost feels like I don't know, trying to act like it's not, none of it's my fault. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. So I just want to thank people who at least kept a level headed about the whole thing. And I just rather just keep on talking about gaming because that's what this channel is about, anyways. You know what I mean? I want to get into all that, but that's basically what I'm saying, man. As a person, I knew certain things shouldn't be done, certain things shouldn't moves shouldn't be made. You know what I mean? And I made those moves. I don't want to go too in depth. If you don't know, then you don't know. If you know, then I'm sure you already know what I'm talking about, right? So that's all it is. Me too, and the messy. I mean, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? It's weird if I don't speak about it at all. But besides from that, that's all I'm saying. I don't want to go too in depth with it because ain't no reason to. I mean, we spoke about it way more than we need to be honest with you. So that's basically all I'm saying about that whole situation. I'm not saying that I wasn't provoked at all because I was, but at the same time, if I'm going with that narrative only, then I'm denying all responsibility, and that's not cool either, right? It doesn't matter your intention, what your intentions are, because I mean, if there's a bus about to fall off a bridge into a lake, right, and your intention is to save all the kids in that bus, but through your actions, that bus fell and fucking all the kids died. Those parents of those kids don't give a fuck what your intentions are. You feel me? They just cared about what happens from your actions. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like I still take the responsibility for it. I'm not denying any responsibility, but at the same time, fuck that dude. You feel me? That's all I'm saying. So let's shift gears. I appreciate y'all still rocking with me, still understanding the situation and all that. But let's shift gears. Let's actually talk about gaming and shit, right? Um, And recently, because gaming is becoming so realistic, I guess, quote unquote realistic, the line between fantasy and reality is kind of blurred. And to the point where people are more concerned about the fantasy world than the reality. You know what I'm saying? Because I live in reality. I play in fantasy land. You feel me? That's how it works. In reality, I'm a little Asian dude that sells lawn care and fucking you know what I mean? I sell businesses lawn care plans for their businesses and shit like that, right? That kind of stuff. That's reality. That's what I do for a living. That's me. I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a boyfriend, I mean, all that shit. But in fantasy land, I'm a soldier, I'm a warrior, I'm an adventurer, I'm a god. It's not the same shit. But slowly, people are more concerned about the fantasy world than they are the reality of the situation, right? And what brings this up? What's up, Savage? What's up, Corey? Um, Jemiah, I'm saying Stardust. Yeah, you ain't the first today, are you, Stardust? Arian, what's up, man? That's what I'm saying. Reality is very different from fantasy. And what's up, Ian? You know what I mean? Like the reality of the world is a lot different than the fantasy that we play or we immerse ourselves into to get away from reality. The thing is, nowadays people are more concerned about the fantasy shit. And it has something to do with that censorship stuff, but this kind of provoked me from the idea of like I don't want to what's Dude said he doesn't want to um, make smoking cool. I guess like I can't think of the correct word to say right now. So he doesn't want to make smoking cool. Therefore, he doesn't want smoking in Gears anymore. And I say anymore because there was smoking in Gears 1, 2, and 3. Maybe not 4. I haven't played 4, but in 1, 2, and 3, there is smoking, right? And the thing is, this is a fantasy world. All gaming is fantasy. No matter how realistic the game is, it's a fantasy world. It's not real. Like, if you're so concerned about that shit, you should join the movement on, working on getting cigarettes banned or what the fuck you doing. I smoke. I ain't going front. I smoke. I grew up smoking. I started smoking cigarettes when I was like 15 or 16. I don't remember exactly. And I never thought it was cool. You know what I'm saying? I never thought it was cool to smoke. Like, what's up, Snow? What's up? Don't call me Danny. I never thought it was cool to smoke. I didn't. I thought it was just a normal thing to do. When I was about 15, 16-year-old, people started like offering me cigarettes, and I thought, well, I guess I'm at that age where motherfuckers start smoking. I just thought that was just a thing to do. All of my older brother smokes. I'm the youngest of 8 kids, fam. Like my family is deep. All my brothers smoke. Every one of them, from my oldest brother to the brother that's 2 years older than me, they all smoke. The only people in my family that don't smoke is my mom and my sister. Besides from that, my dad smoked. Everyone in my family smoked, and I never thought it was something cool. It's just something that comes up. You know what I mean? The funniest thing is, after I started smoking for a few years, all of my brothers started quitting. Each and every one of them, slowly, one of them at a time. Each one of them quit. And I recently quit about a year or so ago, a year or two ago. Like I think right around the time where we started the round table, I quit because I just don't enjoy it like I used to. I still smoke a cigar from here and there. Matter of fact, I'm smoking a cigar right now as we speak. I'm not saying that to tell people that it's cool and you should smoke, right? I just I enjoy a cigar now and then, and enjoy a blunt more than now and then. You know what I'm saying? Right now I'm actually trying to stay sober, but I usually smoke a blunt or two here or there too. You know what I mean? And that's the reality of it. Now, if you're trying to manipulate your fantasy world to enforce your reality, that doesn't make any sense. You feel me? That doesn't make any sense. Why are we so concerned about the fantasy world we create, but not the reality that we live in? Right? You don't want to glamorize certain things in your fantasy world, but the shit happens in reality. If you're so concerned about the shit that happens in reality, you should do shit in reality to actually fix it. The world that you create shouldn't be affected by reality because that doesn't even make sense. It's a fantasy world that you create, right? I don't know if that makes any sense to people. Like, why would you create a fantasy world and make it like the reality we live in? We were speaking about this on the round table recently, right? We were speaking about this on the round table recently. Matter of fact, I think Snow Bunny was talking about that. Like, I mean, this is it's not real. None of it's real, right? Right, Savage. You don't smoke. I'm pretty sure you played plenty of character and you've seen plenty of shit that people that smoke. I mean, also, I mean, if you watch Scarface, you doing coke too? Like, what are you? You know what I mean? That's a fantasy world. Yes, it's about a dude who sell coke and do coke, right? But just because you see that movie, don't mean you gonna go out and start selling coke and doing coke either. Well, exactly, Corey. Like the world you create is a fantasy world. Like in that world, I'm a motherfucking super soldier. I'm not a super soldier in real life. Like I'm just a dude that works a 9 to 5, basically. Like you know what I'm saying? That's the reality. And if you like create fantasy world to police your reality, it's just stupid. The whole point of like when Snowball was saying, the whole point of me going into this fantasy world so I can leave the fucking reality that we was in, so I don't have to deal with the reality of this and like that I'm living in. I live in reality. I play in the fantasy land. I go to this fantasy land to escape the reality for a while. In reality, people smoke. In reality, people are assholes. In reality, there's a lot of things that motherfuckers don't care for, right? And instead of actually working on it in reality to fix it, you change the fantasy world that we play in. That doesn't help anything. That doesn't help the reality, and it doesn't help the fantasy world you create either. I mean, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine Sully not smoking a cigar, man. You know what I mean? Can you imagine Sully not having a cigar in his mouth when he's talking to Nathan Drake? It'll feel weird. It will feel very weird. There's certain things about a character that's just the way they are. And if you want to take it away because of your personal feelings about it, you know what I mean? And real shit, this kind of hit home for me because my dad actually died from lung cancer. Not to bring all that shit up again, but my dad actually died from lung cancer. And the thing is, he smoked all of his life, but it's not because of smoking that he got lung cancer. He was a welder for all of his life, and that's where he got his cancer from. Was you know welding shit all of his life. So I understand that you don't want to tell people to smoke, right? But people need to fucking take responsibility for what it is that they do. I'm not gonna. I'm I'm not gonna make my fantasy world fit your reality. You know what I mean? Your reality is whatever the fuck you want to make it. You don't want to smoke, don't smoke. You want to smoke, smoke. I don't give a shit. That's your life. When your fucking reality is fucking with my fantasy world, that's a problem. Where does it end from there? You know what I mean? Because any most video games are very violent, extremely violent. You know, extremely violent. Damn near every game is violent, and that's glamorizing violence, man. Right, Arian? I mean, if you gonna smoke, smoke. That's your business. You feel me? That's your business. It's my business what I do with my life. You know what I mean? I'm smoking a cigar right now because I enjoy it. Yes, I do know the health risks. I know all that shit. But living life without what's up, Ice Queen? Oh man, what's wrong? You all right? What's going on with you? But that's what I'm saying. You should never change the fantasy world to fit some kind of reality, like the reality of the situation. And I think that's actually the bottom line of what's going on with our, culture right now. All this SJW shit, all this, other shit is all people trying to force the fantasy worlds that people create to be more similar to reality. And that bothers me actually. Why are you limiting the fantasy world that we create to match with some world that you wish we live in? You feel me? Because women don't look like women in video games. And so does dudes. Most dudes do not look like Kratos. Most dudes, matter of fact, most dudes don't look like Nathan Drake. And Nathan Drake's a normal looking dude. You know what I mean? Most people don't look like these people. There's very rare people that looks like video game characters. They do exist because I mean, especially nowadays with motion captures and shit, most of those characters actually do exist somewhere, but most of us don't look like them. You know what I mean? You shouldn't change the fantasy world to fit our reality because then there's no point. Then you're taking the fantasy world more serious than you do the reality world, the world that you actually live in. I take the reality I live in very seriously. I don't take the fantasy world I play in seriously at all. And right now, I just see so much of that I'm actually concerned for gaming in the future. Like in the gaming in the future, why would I play a video? Why would I do something in a video game when I could just do it in real life? You know what I mean? What's up, Lincoln? Why would I do that? Why would I play a game and the game is fucking exactly like the real world? Like, what's the point? I'm saying, Corey. Kratos come out with a whole, you know what I'm saying, beer belly and shit. Looking like what's his name? Looking like the new Thor, the Thor in that game and shit. God, I hope not. You know what I mean? I hope people can separate fantasy from reality. The whole point of me playing in this fantasy world so I can leave reality. Yeah, I hope you feel better, Ice Queen. Um, I don't really even know what kind of shit you got, but I mean, yeah, orange juice. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, so I couldn't even begin to tell you. You know what I mean? I'm just a dude talking about video games out here. But fantasy worlds is where I want to play. I live in reality. I know the situation in reality, and I don't like having to. I don't like having to deal with the reality that we have to live in the fantasy world that I hop into. I'm leaving reality to hop into this fantasy world. Why are you dragging reality shit? Why are you dragging shit that I have to deal with on a daily basis already into this fantasy world that I'm trying to use to escape reality with? You know what I mean? And right now, women can't look a certain way in video game because if you make a woman weak, then they were like, why are they so weak? You make them strong, that's unrealistic. You make them gorgeous, that's not cool for women because they were like, oh, no women look like that. Well, no shit. No shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a fantasy world. I mean, there's women with horns in some video games. Like, what the fuck are you like? It's a fantasy world. Matter of fact, I hope people go all out with the shit. Bayonetta is 7 feet tall. You feel me? Bayonetta is 7 motherfucking feet tall, bro. Is that normal? Is that weird, or is that okay? She's a 7 foot tall witch that killed the creator of her world. Think about that. That's so far from reality. Like, you know what I mean? That's so far from reality that you can get. But whenever we see something in these fantasy world, we have to use the reality we live in to like compare it to. Why do we do that? No women look like that in real life. No, well, no shit. Does it make you feel some way about you? Like that's sometimes I feel like that's because women just aren't happy with themselves or something. Why do you know? Why are women over sexualized? Because men like looking at sexy ass women. What the fuck? What's up, Cyber Dragon? You know what I'm saying? Because what's up, Chris? I didn't even see you there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, because men like seeing sexy ass women, and at the same time, different men find different type of women sexy. Like, what the fuck? And it's the vice versa. Every dude wouldn't mind looking like a Tekken character. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind looking like a Tekken character. I wouldn't mind looking like a Mortal Kombat character. Matter of fact, they all ripped. You know what I'm saying? Each one of them have muscles on top of muscles. They have neck muscles. You feel me? I work out damn near almost every day. Like I work out probably like 5 days a week trying to get a body like that. You know what I mean? And I know for sure I probably would never look like Forrest Law. I would never look like that, but that's the inspiration for me to do so. Like why are you making like me feel bad because I like good like extremely sexy women. Like I know these women can't be real. They're not real. You know what I mean? And I don't expect women in reality to look like that either. But this is a fantasy world. I mean, they can have crazy measurements with wings, bro. Like, are you crazy? Hey, as long as she's driving Aston Martin and still smash bad, bad bitches, that's all I care about. Don't call me Tammy. I'm not even tripping, right? I don't like that shit. I don't like when people use the world we live in to basically police the fantasy world we create. It's not fun. The whole point of coming up with a fantasy world is so we can escape. And bringing reality in there, it almost feel like people are taking the fantasy world more serious than the reality we live in, and that's not cool. Word, Corey, I'm trying to get there, bro. I'm trying to get there. I don't know if I'll ever get there or not. You know what? I'm cursed and blessed with this crazy ass fucking metabolism, right? I eat like somewhere between 5 to 7 meals a day. I'm not bullshitting you. Full meals, guys. And I don't retain none of it. I don't retain no fat. I just get rid of it all within a few hours. I'll eat right now. In a few hours, I'll be hungry again. And it's both a blessing and a curse because every time I tell someone that shit, they're like, "Oh man, I wish I had that problem." I'm like, yeah, until you have that motherfucking problem, right? So, and the craziest thing is the only way I can gain weight is if I work out. I have to work out to gain weight to keep a certain weight. Like I'll just wither away if I don't like constantly eat out. You know what I mean? It's and that's the shit I have to deal with. So it's actually really hard for me to put on the pounds to work out. Like if you a little hefty, you can like work out and burn that into muscle, like quickly. But if you don't have fat to burn, like it's actually pretty hard, like to gain more weight. You have no idea the amount of protein I fucking process through my body on a regular. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying Snow Bunny. It's nice. It's nice for someone who needs it until they have it for their whole life, and it's not fun no more. You feel me? It's not fun if you have to deal with it your whole life. So, I mean, I wish I could look like Forrest Law, but it'll take forever for me to get there. But that's why I go to the gym. It's because I seen Tekken characters, and I want to look at least somewhat like them. You know what I mean? Trying to get a Dragon Ball Z body. That's what I try to do. You know what I'm saying? But it's not easy. But that's the reality, and I'm okay with the reality. I'm okay with myself, and I'm good with that. So when I see these fantasy characters, I don't mind that shit at all. I don't mind they smoke because, well, first of all, I smoke from time to time. Um, but even if I didn't, I wouldn't mind. I mean, there's fantasy characters out there doing drugs. I mean, and I draw the line at weed. You feel me? I don't do nothing more than weed. So I hate that. I hate that we're policing fantasy world because of what's going on in reality. I know, Corey, and I try too, bro. It's not, and the issue is not only do I have that problem already, I also make it worse for myself because I'm not saying this like I'm some Muay Thai expert because I'm not at all. I just practice it. You know what I'm saying? It's fun to practice. I don't use it to whoop nobody's ass or nothing. It's just, and that shit's crazy cardio too. So it probably doesn't help my efforts much either. Hey, she's into whatever she's into, I guess. I guess no funny. She into whatever she into. I'm a little dude, you know what I mean? I know that. That's the reality of it. I'm a little dude. I try to get big as big as I could. I'm still working on it, but that's the reality, and I'm fine. Like I think the issue with people policing the fantasy world that we want to play in so much is because they're not happy with the reality of the situation, and they want to make a fantasy world where they can feel good about themselves. You know what I mean? But that's the opposite approach of how you want to look at it. Like, look, if you, what's up, Jamal? Like, if you feel a little, not so happy about yourself in reality, you should work on the reality of your situation, not so much the fantasy world that other people create. Because no matter how much they change about that fantasy world, you will still be you. Ain't shit have changed about you. And if you're not happy with you, that's not gonna change, right? I mean, make Tifa unattractive. Make Cloud look like an average looking dude. Make Final Fantasy characters look really whack and boring like any person in real life. Is that going to help you with you if you're not happy with you? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to feel better about you? Right? The whole point of this whole thing is because it's not real. None of it is. Like I told y'all last time I was on, like the other Sunday, that when I was going to hop off, I was going to play Detroit, right? And y'all know me, not a fan of Detroit type games. David Cage, Quantum Dream games, and Telltale games. Those narrative based games, right? I'm usually not into those type of games because me, I like gameplay, which is also one of the subjects of tonight. But me, I like gameplay. I like interacting with the game, and for me, playing a game where you barely do much, you just wait for quick time events and also make a few decisions here and there to move the narrative along. It never float my boat. I just didn't seem like a type of game that I want to fuck with. And it took Thrash, it took Sick, it took OBJ, it took all these motherfuckers to be like, bruh, it's just fire. You gotta play this shit, right? And I still never got around to it. And then I keep wanting to say free, but it's not free. And then it pops up on PlayStation Plus. At this point, I almost have to play it. So last Sunday, when I hop off the last podcast, I started playing that shit. And I'm not gonna front, that shit was fire. I stayed up until 6 in the motherfucking morning playing that shit after that podcast. So I played from like 11 something, like once I hop off here, all the way until 6, 7 in the morning. Because I was off, I didn't have to work or nothing. Because that story was so fucking good. I was glued. I was like, I had to finish that motherfucker. I had to make sure Kara and that little girl, what's her name? Alice, right? I had to make sure both of them be okay. I had to make sure Khan and his partner was good, and I gotta make sure Marcus was cool. You know what I'm saying? Stayed up until 7 in the motherfucking morning. I didn't even realize I was just playing, and then all of a sudden I look out the window and it's bright out again. I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, holy shit! See, that's an amazing fantasy world that they create. And Hank's an alcoholic. That world is not real, even though it's seemed very real. Hank's an alcoholic, and people do drugs in that world. What is it called? Red ice, right? That must be some good shit, whatever it is. That must be the meth of our world, the meth or the crack of our world, whichever drug you want to associate with. That shit must be fire. because everybody in that world is doing that drug. And you know what's really weird? Even though it's a fantasy world, it's so much like reality, but it's not, right? And I could tell the difference. And I love that like the playthrough I had. I don't want to play through it no more because the ending that I got was dope. I had a pretty good ending, right? And I'm afraid if I play it again, I'll have a worse ending than I have now. I'm saying, Corey, he's an alcoholic cop, but he's a good dude, right? But he's at the end of the day, like after I played it, he was a good dude. What's up, Garuda? And I can't even be mad at him. How am I gonna be mad at this dude? Like that character was good. I didn't give a fuck about like what the connotation is for the reality. No, I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, oh, that's a good character. I like that they made that character, right? That has nothing to do with the reality we live in. It's just the world they create, and I believe that that character could exist. And I don't want to spoil it for y'all if y'all haven't played Detroit. I'm pretty sure I'm late to the party. I'm pretty sure all of y'all have. But I just recently played it and it was amazing. And I didn't even want to go back to it because I'm afraid if I play another one playthrough, I'll have a worse ending than I have now. I don't know if my ending was the best ending you could get, but you know what I'm saying? Damn, you killed him. Yeah, and I don't think anyone died in my game in my playthrough. No, no, actually, one person did die in my game. Yeah, I'm mad late on that, man. And this shit was fire. And the thing is, like I mentioned, and I still feel this way. You know what? We'll save censorship for last because let's go into gameplay. This is a good. It's a good way to like transition into gameplay of a game, right? Like that's all I'm saying. As far as a fantasy world is matter, I just want you to create a cool world. I don't give a fuck what kind of connotation it has for reality. You know what I'm saying? Fuck reality. You created this fantasy world, now mean it. You know what I mean? Mean it so I can believe in it too. So when I'm in there, I want to believe that shit. You feel me? I want to believe in this world that you created. And if you let reality hinders you on that, then the world you create won't be that great. That's all I'm saying about that. And and people need to stop bitching about fantasy world. It's not real. And if it bothers you so much, then there must be something in reality that fucks with you. You need to fix that shit in reality. Don't fucking fuck my fantasy land up while I'm trying to enjoy it. You feel me? Real shit, Corey. That's how I feel too. I don't want to play it again because I'm afraid. Go ahead. I mean, I don't know why you always preface it that shit. Garuda, if you want to ask some shit, just ask some shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a shit. But yeah, man. So let's talk about gameplay as well. Like I mentioned earlier, I usually don't care for type of games where you just make decisions to move the narrative and also make little quick quick turn events just here and there just to keep you busy. I usually don't like those type of games. I'll watch people play them, the Telltale games and the games like Detroit and stuff. I usually watch people play them, but I don't play them myself usually. But that game was amazing. But the reason why I want to talk about gameplay tonight is because man, Gears just all kind of head waves, right? All kind of like headlines about Gears lately. Of all the Xbox games that's out there, quote unquote Xbox games, because realistically at this point there's no such thing anymore. They're all multi-plats at this point. But of all the big, I guess the big name and games that are associated with Xbox, Gears has always been my favorite series. And I like the story of it, and I also like the way it plays. You feel me? I like the way it plays. I like playing Gears. I think it's fun, and it is very quote unquote spooky that motherfuckers haven't really get to see gameplay for real. And if you don't see gameplay of a game, how are you hyped for it? I'm never hyped for a game from a trailer that has no gameplay. To be really real with you, the Last of Us 2 trailer, I was like, cool, it's coming, but I wasn't hyped because I didn't get to see the gameplay. You can't. What do you do with a game? You play it, right? So if you don't show me how I'm playing this game, how am I gonna be hyped? You don't show me what I'm doing, what I'm gonna be doing in this game, how the game works, what you know what I mean? And people are like, well, you play Gears 1, 2, and 3, and 4. You should know what 5 be like. Like, no, I don't. I played The Last of Us 1. That trailer looked like this whole new type of gameplay that I gotta deal with now. Right. Like, why wouldn't, like, how do you get hyped for a game if they don't show you what you're gonna be doing in the motherfucking game? Like, I can't even tell. Like, even with the Devil May Cry 5 trailer, they had that short bit of Dante riding through in a motorcycle, right? And just and broke it in half into two chainsaw blades and start murdering motherfuckers with it. Just that trailer alone, I knew that little snippet alone. I knew that his next weapon in this game is gonna be a motorcycle where you can ride it and use it as like twin blades, right? Twin heavy blades, and that's sick as fuck. But I really still haven't seen gameplay itself. And then they showed the gameplay, and that shit was fire. I can't be hyped for something if you don't show me what it is I'm supposed to be hyped about. Like, what am I doing in this motherfucking game? Is it gonna be exactly like the games before it? If it is, I mean, it's still alright because motherfuckers like Gears. They like Gears. They'll still do the same shit they did in the last and the previous games. But I can't be hyped for it if you don't show me what I'm doing. And gameplay, in my opinion, is the most important thing to a game. Above story, above visuals, above everything. Because Pong is nothing but gameplay. Tetris is nothing but gameplay, right? And it's still good. I mean, they're classic, they're super throwbacks, but they're still good. And all you're doing is just playing the goddamn game. I can't speak for all Asian people, but I do, Garuda. I have fish sauce in the crib right now. Vietnam beef salad. I know how to make that too, actually. It's just fire. Yeah, I got a bottle of that in the crib right now. You're not Vietnamese if you don't have some fish sauce. I don't know what you be eating. Like most most stuff we eat has fish sauce in it. So, Ruda, I don't know why you always have to preface your questions. I mean, I'll answer questions. You always just you feel like asking this shit. I'll always answer you, fam. Like, yeah, to be all that. But yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Gameplay, in my opinion, is always the most important because what do you do with the game except play it? You feel me? Like, and for you to not show me gameplay, it's terrifying. It's terrifying because even with fucking Anthem, at least with Anthem, I've seen gameplay. Even though the game, was fucked up once it came out, but at least I know what I was doing in that motherfucker, right? I mean, I how am I supposed to be hyped for a game? I don't know what I'm gonna be doing in. Like, yes, I know it's Gears, and yes, there's certain things you should know. You're gonna be shooting some motherfuckers. You're gonna be throwing whatever the fuck those type of grenades are called. You're gonna be chainsawing motherfuckers with a sword, with a chainsaw gun. Forgot the fuck it's called. You feel me? You're gonna be taking cover. You know what I'm saying? Yes, yes. But is there anything else about it that we should know about? Right? There was no dodge mechanic in The Last of Us. Not in the same way that there is there is kind of a dodge mechanic, but not really, not in the same way they showed us, right? Like, I mean, show me some shit. Show me gameplay that I want to see what I'm gonna do in this game. Otherwise, I'm not hyped. I'm never hyped until I see gameplay. And for anyone who wants to like say, well, why you need to see gameplay? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Do you test drive cars before you buy them, motherfucker? Like, what kind of shit is this? I can't. I mean, if that's how you feel, Garuda, I'm not gonna say you wrong. That's your opinion, but you know what I'm saying. I know how to cook. You feel me? I can't really speak on that. I know how to cook, but I can't expect every woman to know how to cook and shit. That's insane. You feel me? But uh, that's scary. If you don't show me gameplay, it's scary. Cause if you don't show me gameplay early, it just shows me that you're not confident in it. It's the same way as you hold back reviews until like a day or two before the game come out, or even on the day of the game coming out. That doesn't show confidence. It doesn't. And if you're not confident in your shit, I'm definitely not confident in your shit. How am I gonna buy some shit from you if you're not confident in it yourself? Well, cultures are different. Don't call me daddy. I mean, most Asian girls know how to cook. I don't know what it is, but a lot of time Asian girls will clown each other for not knowing how to cook. But I know how to cook, and that's actually rare amongst Asian dudes as well. A lot of Asian dudes know how to cook, but you know, a lot of them don't. It's just a lot of times I had to take care of myself. So if I don't know how to cook, it means I have to buy shit to eat all the damn time, and it gets costly. What's up, JK? So yeah, man. Like if you don't show me gameplay, man, that shit's terrifying because I don't know what the fuck. Like I don't know what the fuck like this game's gonna be like, and that's all you do with the game is play it. If you don't show me what I'm doing, then there's no deal. No deal. You gotta show me what you got first before I start like looking into buying. Y'all remember this? I forgot what game it was. I forgot the name of it, but this DC comic game. They had this crazy ass CGI trailer, man. Like insane CGI trailer where it's basically like at the end of everything, where all the supervillains and all the superheroes was fighting, got hung up by Harley Quinn, and Joker shot a fucking missile at him and shit, and Superman was somewhere out there floating in space. Oh, y'all know what I'm talking about? Shit was crazy. Like, and Lex Luthor was like beating the shit out of the Wonder Woman, forcing them to like call Superman and down, and Superman came down, and he put like kryptonite in her mouth and shit. DC Online, yeah, yeah, yeah. Imagine that shit. Imagine if you seen that trailer, right? When I saw that shit, I was like, damn, that shit was cold as fuck, man. Gameplay does not look anything like that, does it? Does it? No, not Injustice. It's like this throwback. It's like it's been out for a long time. Don't call me Danny. I think Corey is right. It's DC Online. The trailer for it was fucking incredible. It's like the most epic shit. I wouldn't mind them turning that shit into a movie, man. That shit look amazing. The game was nothing like it though. Not even close. Not even close to that. You know what I mean? And I saw that trailer. I'm like, damn, that shit look fire, bro. And I'm not the biggest DC fan in the world. My favorite characters in the DC universe has no superpowers. Batman, Green Lantern, and it's not because of Green Lantern show. I'm not Green Lantern. Green Arrow. I always like Green Arrow because he's just he might be a billionaire and shit, but there's been stories where he lost his money and all that shit, but he's always been a real dude. I appreciate that character, and for whatever reason, characters in the DC universe always has like the characters with no superpowers always seem to have the best stories for whatever reason. You know, I don't really like the characters in in like DC universe that has superpowers. Even Green Lantern, because even though he's realistically just a human, that ring is basically his superpower, and I don't know what it is. DC characters with no superpowers always seem to have the best stories. I'm more of a Marvel guy, anyways, because as you could tell, I'm the Asian Gambit. You know what I'm saying? More of a Marvel dude. But that trailer was in fucking incredible. And then you saw the gameplay, you were like, no, no. Yeah, man, exactly, JK. Like, I wouldn't have been so hyped for Ghost if I didn't see that trailer of that gameplay trailer, bro. Like, and even in the original trailer, even in the original trailer of Ghost, right? There was just a snippet of gameplay, just a snippet. Like you could see a little bit at the end, and you kind of figure out what it is they're trying to do. It's gonna have stealth elements. It's gonna have fighting elements, and then you see the actual gameplay trailer. You like, holy shit, right? And was you hyped because of the way the game looks as far as the aesthetics of the game, or you like, oh, that's dope, and cut a motherfucker's head clean off, bruh. You know what I'm saying? You can parry a sword and cut a motherfucker's head clean the fuck off. You can jump from a fucking scaffolding and fucking stab a motherfucker in the neck, right? Throw a smoke bomb, scare a horse, kill a motherfucker on top of it. That shit's fucking fire, bruh. And that's why you get hype. You don't get hype from a CGI trailer. I mean, if you do, all I can say is fool me once. You feel me? Because that DC universe, that DC online shit, that fucking trailer fucking blew my mind, and I was so hyped until I actually saw what the game was supposed to be, and I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Never mind, motherfucker. I'm cool. Not even gonna play that shit. But like, you're not gonna be able to get me hyped on anything unless I see gameplay, and that's why it took me so long to play Ghost. I mean, not Ghost, Detroit, because Detroit have very minimal gameplay because that's the type of game it is, and because it's the type of game it is, I usually don't fuck with them. And I'm never gonna say like the game isn't good for what it is. Matter of fact, now that I play Detroit, I want to give it like a 9 out of 10 for what it is fucking amazing. For what it was trying to do, it was successful. You know what I mean? The emotions that it was trying to get out of me, it did it. For real. Like it did it. I got it on PS Plus, man. I mean, that's not free, but that's not really on sale either, I guess. You know what? I haven't really seen that much of Watch Dogs. I gotta see more of that. Exactly. Don't call me Danny. I haven't really seen that much of it either. But it's concerning, man. It's concerning when you don't show gameplay of a game. Yeah, man. The last time I felt this way when I'm playing a game was Hellblade. Like when I was playing Hellblade, I also stayed up until fucking 7, 8 in the morning. Thanks, Garuda. You know what I mean? Like when I played Hellblade, I also stayed up 6 until 6, 7 in the morning to finish that game because I want to make sure I see her story through. I just want to make sure she was good because I was like, damn, Senor, you need to get your shit together, girl. You fucking, you know what I'm saying? So I had to see her through, man. Like I was actually supposed to put the game down after like it's probably like 3 or 4 in the morning. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stop. But that moment when she was talking to herself, like she had that crazy ass voice. I don't know if y'all played her or not. Not a lot of people have, apparently. It barely like cracked it. I think it was sold like 250,000 or something. It wasn't much at all. So a lot of people might have not played that shit. But that moment where like she was talking to herself, like holding her sword up as her reflection, and like in that demonic ass voice, like after that part, I'm like, I gotta finish this motherfucking game now. It's just not for everybody, I guess. But the last time I felt the way I felt about a game is like how I felt when I was playing Detroit, when I was playing Hellblade. That was amazing. I mean, that game was incredible to me. It's very simple. It's a very simplistic game. The combat was okay. You know, it was okay. That's the best way I could put it. The combat was okay. But the narrative was so good. The narrative was amazing, and it made me care about the character. But as far as the gamer is concerned, you know what I mean. As a dude who play video games, my interaction with the game is what matters most to me, and that's gameplay. So I have to know what I'm doing. I have to know what it is, and you don't have to show me everything because I want to be surprised too. But at least give me a taste of what it is that I'm doing in there. What's if it's a sequel? Since this is Gears 5 is a sequel, show me some shit that I haven't done in the previous games, right? Or at least show me what I've done in the previous game, but like if you could spice it up, right? If you can put some stank on that shit, make it different than it used to be. Like now, instead of like running towards like an area where you take cover, like there's different moves, you like roll over to it or something. You know what I'm saying? Like something different than it was before. Yeah, it's a bit of a walking simulator, man. It is because the fighting mechanics is very simple. You'll get a grasp of it in like a minute or two of it. So it's very minimal as far as gameplay is concerned. It's very much a walking simulator, but it's a great walking simulator. It's so good. I think it's so good. I love the narrative of that game. I think Ninja Theory are not that great. They're very mediocre as well, but they have shined in certain games. Some games they make are incredible, and some of them are shit, and some of them are okay. So they haven't had a crazy consistent fucking track record of amazing games. I don't know if y'all know this, but I think their version of DMC is dog garbage. So I mean, I can't really like people like say some people like it. I think it's dog garbage. I think it's one of the worst fucking uh, games that they've done. Heavenly Sword was pretty decent. I didn't even finish Enslave. I don't know what I was doing with Enslave. I never actually finished it. Is that right now? When is Tokyo Game Show? Well, you know what? Like I was saying, Corey, I'm not the type of dude that cared too much. That wasn't my main problem. You know what my main problem is? It's fucking gameplay. The gameplay in that game is garbo, cut. It's garbo compared to like the original DMCs. The first three, four DMCs have amazing gameplay, and the gameplay in that game wasn't good. I mean, as far as the narrative of the game, each their own. Like, if you like the narrative of the new one better, of that version better, then you like that one better. I didn't either. I actually like the original better. Beef with salad is the shit, man. It's actually a lot easier to make it than you would think, Ruda. Or if you know how to make them, then never mind. But beef salad is not hard to make at all. And realistically, it's not really even a salad, I guess. I mean, there's no interpretation for the word, so I guess you can call it a salad, but it's not really even a salad. You should try it out, Stardust. Shit, I don't know if you still got your PlayStation 3s and shit or not, but you still should be able to play that shit. Shit's pretty dope. It's not mind-bendingly amazing or nothing. Like I said, I think Ninja Theory is an okay developer. They have hits and they have misses. They're not that consistent with their shit. But the main problem with DMC is also gameplay. It's not so much the narrative of the game because some people might like that narrative better. Even though I think that version of Dante is trash, and I don't like the narrative of that game either. What's up, Andre? And so yeah, man, I find gameplay to be the most important thing about a game. And if you don't show me the gameplay, I can't be hyped. Real shit, Garuda. Yes, that's why you make a giant fucking bowl of it and you set in the middle of the. But yeah, man, I can't be hyped for a game if I don't see the gameplay of it because that's what you do as a gamer is you play the goddamn game. You don't see that game's like how you gonna be playing. Then I mean, where is it? Like, what is it to be hype about? Think back to Horizon Zero Dawn. I still remember the gameplay trailer vividly when she, when she fucking took over the Rams. I guess computer system. She hacked it, took it over, wrote it into battle, fought that motherfucking robot scorpion. Right. I still remember that. It was ingrained in my head, and I've already played Horizon. I already played it, but if it wasn't for that trailer. I don't know how hype I was be. I mean, yeah, I know the world's cool. You got a cave girl fighting robot dinosaurs. Yeah, it looks cool. But how am I fighting these robot dinosaurs? Right? And they showed me, and the shit was dope. I'm saying, bruh. I'm saying, Corey. No, like no lock on. I know they fixed a lot of shit in like the what is it called? The definitive edition. Like your definitive edition is the normal Devil May Cry. We added lock on, no shit. And that's ridiculous. The whole point of Devil May Cry is to be able to like string crazy combos together with a fucking crazy set of moves, like weapons and move sets. And now you make the enemies color coordinated to where I can only hurt certain enemies with certain weapons. Like you just hindered my gameplay. I mean, how is that okay? You just took away half of the game right there. Like in this game, in the original four, I could just fuck everything up with any weapon I want. You feel me? But now, like, I can't use a certain weapon on a certain enemy because they're this color. I need to use a blue weapon or a white weapon, whatever that color was, right? To hit a certain enemy, and then I have to use a different heavy weapon to hit certain other enemies that are red or orange or something like that. Like it's like, bruh, no, I need to fuck anything up with whatever weapon I want to use. That's how it's supposed to work. Like that's not clever. That's not making it more difficult. That's just making the gameplay annoying. What if I don't like a certain weapon? I have to use it. I have to use it. You feel me? I have to use this motherfucking weapon, even if I don't like to. What if I don't like using heavy weapons? I like using like light weapons, and I can't. I have to use a heavy weapon to hit a motherfucker. You see, and that's the issue that I have without seeing a gameplay. If I don't see a gameplay of a game, I'm not even gonna cop it. I'm not gonna front. No matter how much motherfucker talk about like, oh, this shit's dope. You should try it. Yeah, Savage. I mean, in my opinion, you're not missing much, Savage. You're not missing much from not playing that motherfucker. But I mean, you try it out. You might like it. I know Big Money like it. I didn't. I didn't like it at all, bro. I mean, I don't know why, but the part where Virgil fucking shot that bitch with a fucking sniper rifle bothered me so much. Virgil, the Dark Slayer, the dude with the katana, and that's all he fucking used because anything else is beneath him. Is using a fucking sniper rifle to blow the stomach out of a bitch, of a demon bitch. Like, is that like, come on, bro? Like, what are you? You know what I mean? But that's a narrative standpoint, right? And I don't like the narrative. I don't also like the gameplay, and I actually hate the gameplay, and that's troublesome. If I don't like the gameplay of a game, no matter how good the narrative is, I'm not gonna be able to pull through. I'm not gonna be able to pull through. Exactly. Virgil doesn't like guns. It's beneath him. That's why he always mocked Dante for using guns. It's a human fucking weapon. He doesn't like it. You know what I mean? Because if you think about it, the weapons that Dante uses, like the two guns, ebony and ivory, it's made for him by a human woman. The weapon that still represent what Dante is still rebellion. And of course, if you play Devil May Cry 5, then you would know Um, the devil's sword Dante is basically the weapon that represent him. So if you was able to kill Dante, you will be using Dante the sword, right? And if you kill Virgil, you will be using Yamato, right? Um, but that's from like a narrative standpoint. But as far as the gameplay is concerned, it's trash. DMC is trash, bro. And speaking of which, when is this motherfucking DLCs coming so I could play as fucking Virgil, man? When is this DMC fucking? When is this DMC 5 fucking shit's dropping so I could play as Virgil? You better let me play as Virgil. I'll be mad as fuck if I can't play as Virgil, man. I need to be able to play as Virgil. I don't even need him to have this in his own campaign. Just let me run through the game as Virgil. Because playing as Virgil is fun as fuck. And motherfucker, just don't make him way too OP. He's a bit too OP. Me neither, Savage. I not that I don't enjoy. I just can't get good at him, man. Like I was just terrible. I'm just terrible at V, bro. I'm not good. I'm not good at all. Ever since I beaten that game like 4 times, I have not touched V since. Pause. Pause. Well, not pause. I haven't touched them. Right. I usually play as either Nero or Dante. I don't really fuck with V because his gameplay is just so counterintuitive. I can't get right with him. I don't know what it is. Well, yes, he is supposed to be OP, but like there's also like if you remember playing Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition where you get to play as him, like he is OP in that game, but he has a lot of animation frames where you have to be stuck in certain animations. So when you commit to a move, you really have to commit to a move because you'll be stuck in animation and you'll get hit. You know what I mean? Things like that. But in Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, this motherfucker is super OP. Like, bro, that's not even a problem. That motherfucker just kill everything. Like, and it's not even difficult. You know what I mean? All of his moves is so easy to fucking deal with. It's not even, you know, it, it's no longer fun if you're too OP. There's had to be some things that will hold you back. You know, I never hated playing it as Nero. I actually like Nero gameplay. I think it's a little bit shallow compared to Dante, but goddamn, whose gameplay isn't this shallow compared to Dante? Dante is the kitchen sink, bro. He's the kitchen sink of fucking action and fucking characters. He can do everything. This motherfucker have like usually in any game he'll have like 3 4 weapons. He'll have different styles. He'll have different like moves in every styles. He'll have different moves with every weapon. You know what I mean? The dude's like the kitchen sink of gaming. There's so much shit that you could do with him. Of course, Nero will be like will pale in comparison, but Nero compared to like damn near every other video game character, he's just as good. You know? I like I like Nero gameplay. I like it. Just not as good as Dante, but I like it. Yeah, Devil May Cry 4 Virtual is fucking OP as fuck. Like they just it's just not fun. You're just basically just running through the map. Like I didn't even have no issue. Like I didn't die once playing as Virgil because he's so OP. That judgment cut, the final judgment cut where he like split into 3 or 4 shadow version of himself and just cut everything on the screen, bruh. And you could do it multiple times. And once you do that, you're not gonna stop doing it. Once you found out that crazy ass move that could just kill everything on screen, like you're not gonna stop doing it. You're like you'll try to do some other moves, but you'll keep on doing that shit whenever you have the ability to. You'll like do that shit. Real shit, Corey. I was like, God damn, this motherfucker is way too OP. But and that's what I mean. Like if you don't show gameplay of a game, I'm not fucking with it. It doesn't matter how good the game look. It doesn't, and that's actually what I'm concerned about. Um, Cyberpunk right now is because of that. Um, the game looks amazing, right? The narrative, I'm pretty sure will be very good. CD Projekt Red does a very good job with narrative. They do the Witcher franchise, which is based on a novel, like a series of novel. I would think that they're able to continue on with that type of shit. But it's first person, and the issue with me and playing action game in first person is it's usually not that great. Like Skyrim. I mean, who swing a sword like that? You know what I mean? No one swing a sword like that. It's ridiculous. I'm not a sword expert. I'm no swordsman or nothing. I know little things here and there, but I'm no swordsman. But I highly doubt motherfuckers swing swords with their fucking elbow straight. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta bend your elbows when you swing a sword, bro. Like you gotta bend your elbows and flick your wrists every time you swing a sword. But they can't do that because it's first person. It will look weird. You have to like be able to like swing, like see the sword being swung in front of the screen, right, in front of the perspective that you have, and the shit fucks you up because like that's not a good look. And that's what concerns me about Cyberpunk. Now, of course, Cyberpunk has a lot of gunplay, and they'll probably help it. You know what I mean? It'll probably help it because there's a lot of gunplay. But what about all the blades in motherfuckers and arms and shit? Like if you get blade attachment for your arms and shit, because you know I'm a Baraka that shit. I got to Wolverine or Baraka, whichever blades I can get. You know all the attachment you can get for your characters. But that concerns me because it's first person. I'm concerned about the gameplay. I'm sure it'll look good. I'm sure the narrative will be at least decent or better, right? But I don't know about the gameplay, and it concerns me. I know Keanu's in it, and I know he's breathtaking. You feel me? I know this motherfucker's breathtaking, but that's just concerning. But at least I get to see some gameplay of it, and it looks decent so far. For a first person, perspective. Yes, yes, that's what I was saying. I was hoping for more Deus Ex than Skyrim. I'm a big fan of Keanu, man. I like a lot of his movies. Even Johnny Mnemonic. You ever seen that movie? It's a throwback movie from like the '90s and shit. Well, I mean, with every character, you when you play a game, you just want to find out how enjoyable it is to play that game. And Cyberpunk, if I would prefer it to be third person, I would prefer it to be in third person. But it is what it is. It's in first person, and I mean, there's still a good chance that they could do a good job of making it fun. But that gameplay, man, is what I'm concerned about. All right, let's talk about the last thing, man. That's censorship, right? And this does have to do with that smoking shit. I hate censorship of any kind. Like I mentioned, if you're gonna create a fantasy world, do you make that fantasy world? Make me believe it. Make me believe it while I'm in it. If I'm like holding the controller, I'm playing that shit. The stakes in that fantasy world should be just as important to me. Like Detroit, the stakes in that world was so high, and I was there for the whole thing. I gotta make sure Kara and Alice stay alive. I gotta make sure Luther, the big homie Luther, right, that was protecting them, stay alive. Gotta make sure Marcus stay alive. Gotta make sure fucking Connor stay alive. I did get a couple characters killed, but none of them. I don't want to say matters because it's kind of mean, but a couple of the Jericho people died. Not North. North fine ass stayed alive too, but a couple of dudes there died. If you censor something, or if you take something out of the game because you're afraid of the reality of the situation, then you're doing yourself and the world you created a disservice. I hate censorship of every kind. There are certain censorship that's warranted. I don't really need to see no children booty or nothing. I'm cool with that. Like I don't need that shit, you know. And I also would not appreciate you censoring like what I say online either. I'm a grown man. I'll say what the fuck I want, right? And I know it's a business. I know it's a business, right? And sometimes it's required them to do that to keep business afloat. Bro, have you not? I'm saying, Christopher, have you seen some of these fucking weird ass games that's out here right now, bro. Some of the games are weird as fuck, and I'm like, nah, yeah, y'all can keep that. Y'all can censor the fuck out of that. I don't care. But that's just me. Yeah, me too, Savage. I'm against censorship just on principle alone. And the thing is, gaming has become so big that in order for them to sustain their fucking money, right, is to make sure everyone's comfortable. But you can't make everyone comfortable. Matter of fact, I don't want to be comfortable. Challenge me with some shit. You know what I'm saying? I do not want to be comfortable. Show me something on screen that fucks me up. Matter of fact, I chase that high, to be honest with you. I chase that high when I play video games. Show me some shit. Show me some new shit I haven't seen before. If we're talking about narrative, not just gameplay, we're talking about the narrative of game. We're talking about, how you approach the game, the shit that you want to show me. Fuck me up, man. Show me some shit that will fuck me up. I don't know if y'all gotten if y'all played Days Gone and y'all got that O'Brien ending. Man, I'm telling you, you get that O'Brien ending, that shit will fuck you up. Show me some shit that I didn't see before. I don't want your game to be cookie cutter. Because if it's cookie cutter, why the fuck would I play it? There's a million of games like yours. Show me something different, something else. Right? Me too, Garuda. I'd rather you just show me what you got. Show me what you was thinking in your brain. If Neil Druckmann wanted to show us two bitches kissing, they can show us two bitches kissing. I don't mind that shit. To each their own, Corey. Just don't show me no children ass. Like I don't really care for that. I hope so, Arian. The one thing I'm concerned about in Cyberpunk is just the gameplay. But I'm sure that shit will be breathtaking. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I'll cop it, but I'm not as hyped for that game as other games that I'm good with the gameplay for. I remember the Spider-Man gameplay that I saw. I'm like, oh, we get to play as Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Like, you know what I mean? It's not this that like real shit. To be honest with you, I don't like Arkham City's gameplay. I like the stealth. I like the flying around as Batman. I like all that shit, but the combat in that is so motherfucking simple compared to Spider-Man. Spider-Man combat is fucking in depth, bro. There's so much shit. There's so much depth to fucking Spider-Man gameplay. It's insane. And Arkham doesn't compare. Now, Arkham does a better job of like creating the Batman world, right? The world of Batman seem more real in the Arkham world than the Spider-Man world in the Spider-Man game. But the gameplay in Arkham City is not as good as fucking Spider-Man, bro. Spider-Man is fucking yeah, but you gotta admit, Christopher, you gotta admit though, like the gameplay was quite simple. You feel me? It's just hit a motherfucker. Once you see the motherfucker about to hit you, you block that shit or parry that shit, dodge out the way. You get enough fucking health. You fucking, I mean, not health, but you get enough combos in. You could do like a fucking bone breaker move and shit. You know what I mean? It's the gameplay is not very difficult to grasp or even has much nuance in it at all compared to Spider-Man. And overall, if you want to say which one is better, whichever one you think is better is fine. But I try to say that if you compare the gameplay wise of it, Spider-Man beats Arkham. But of course, Arkham does a better job of creating the world of Batman itself. Batman's world seem more realistic, well, not realistic, but fleshed out. It felt more like a world. Like the Spider-Man world is I. Real shit, Corey. That shit was fire, man. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I mean, people would like think it's the same shit. It's not the same shit. You dodge it. the dodge mechanic and all that shit and the parry mechanic and all that type of shit in the Arkham series is a lot easier to grasp than the Spider-Man version. When you dodge in Spider-Man, you have to dodge right at the right time. You dodge early, the motherfucker still hit you. Oh damn, Future, what the fuck's been going on? You just now got power? Like right now, in my opinion, God of War is still the best. Only like I know other people joke, well not joke, but try to degrade God of War for not having a jump button. But I really hope they do bring in jump in the next game because can you imagine that all the shit that you could do in this game, plus it, like air combos, plus you can like jump in midair and do shit. That'll be fire. Imagine the heavy move where you do with the axe and you hit it and you hit a motherfucker into the air and then you jump up with him and beat the shit out of him mid-air, bro. That'd be dope. Oh, word? There's a blackout? Damn, man. I mean, wasn't there a blackout a while back then in New York that lasted for a week and shit turned into fucking Lord of the Flies out in that bitch? Damn. Yeah, I seen that, man. Shit was crazy. I saw um the bridge over there. Forgot who showed it to me in the round table in chat, but shit was crazy. I know, Corey. It's good without the jump button, but just can you imagine with the jump button how crazy that shit would be? I mean, what else are they gonna do to the combat? The combat's damn near flawless. What else can they do besides that? Let's just add a fucking jump button, and that would like bring a whole nother level of fucking gameplay to it. That's what I'm hoping for. I hope the second one has the jump button, or at least air combos. Not so much jump button, but air combos. Like if you count similar to like Dante's air hike, right? Where you just like hit a motherfucker and when you hit him, you basically rise up like a dragon uppercut, right? Like a shoryuken, right? And stay in midair so you can do air combos and then stay in the air. I don't know, use the fucking chains of chaos to like throw it at a motherfucker on the ground and pull them up into the air with you and shit. That should be hot, man. That's what I hope for. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but I think they can't really do much more to God of War combat than that. I mean, the narrative I'm sure is gonna be dope. The first one is fucking amazing. So I mean, that's what I'm hoping for as far as gameplay, because I can't see them doing anything else with the gameplay. What else is there for them to do? I mean, they did everything I could think of in that game. So I mean, air combo is what I'm looking for. That I mean, besides from that, I don't think there's anything left. But I I I always look for gameplay in the game, and I hate being censored of any. I hate any kind of censorship because that just hinders the world you create, and it makes me not enjoy it. It takes me out of the game every time I see some shit like that. It just takes me out of the game. For a few seconds. It's not too bad. And I'm not talking about like, you know, Trish's ass or stuff like that. I'm talking about just censorship overall. If you decided not to do something with a certain game, like because of how the reality of the world is, then you're fucking up your own world that you create. We'll have to see, Corey, because I'm curious about that myself. I wonder what it's going to be like. Whether it's going to be more about Atreus or Kratos. I think it will be more about Atreus because at the end of the game, Kratos did say that it is his story, not Kratos' story. So it'd be sick if the next God of War won't be called God of War, but it'll be called God of Mischief. You know what I'm saying? That'd be dope. And they just came out with God of Mischief instead of God of War. Even though God of War, of course, is a better title, but. It'll be cool, man. If it says God of Mischief, you know for sure that it's fucking about Atreus instead of Kratos. Oh, I think so, Savage. I don't think they could like not do that anymore. Matter of fact, that kind of ruined it for a lot of other games for me. Y'all know me, I love Devil May Cry, but them fucking low screens, bruh. Them fucking low screens ain't no joke. I'll be sitting there like, God damn, I got a low screen after low screen after low screen. No matter what I want to do, if I do something that's a low screen, it's not easy though to do that shit to that one no cut fucking angle that they do. I know it's not easy, but I mean, you can't do your first one like that and not do that from now on. I think so. I mean, if they focus on Atreus more, I'm sure Atreus will have more weapons. And I don't think they'll go with a different voice actor. I think they'll keep the voice actor, and the voice actor is also the same kid that does the motion capture, right? And by now he's probably a teenager, like, he's probably 14, 15 years old by this point, right? Or probably older. So like, it's gonna be hard for him to play the sidelines now that he's a lot older. So I could see him being more like of the main character, and he'll probably be like more of a teenager. So if you're no longer a sideline character, a bow and arrow is probably not gonna do it. You probably have other weapons. I know Kratos doesn't want him to have chain blades, but I want him to have chain blades. Just more Norse mythology type chain blades. Like instead of having it like curved blades, he could have like straight blades. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely. I see that, Corey. I mean, what's up, Iron Fist? Thanks for coming through, but yeah, man, I can see that. I hope so. Not that I don't like Kratos. I think Kratos is dope as a character, but they did a very good job setting up Atreus to where, like, here's what I'm thinking, right? Here's what I'm thinking. Um, playing through the first game, you kind of notice everything that we know about Greek, not Greek, god damn it, Norse myth is flipped backwards, right? In Norse myth, Balder was beloved by all, right? He's a douche in this game. They said Magni and his brother is brave and all that. They were not. They were assholes and they were not brave. You feel me? So they're saying Loki or Atreus, whichever one y'all want to, whatever name you want to call him, is a god of mischief. He's a mischievous god. If you think about it, he's the only type of god that's a god of a mentality, not so much a god of an actual thing. Like, Kratos is the god of motherfucking war, right? You have god of thunder, god of lightning, but this dude's the god of mischief. You feel me? That doesn't even make sense. Like, y- there's god of trees, god of plants, god of water, god of fucking lightning, and whatever the fuck. But this dude is god of mischief. So, in my opinion, I think the way it's gonna be is um Atreus is gonna start telling the Aesir gods that his name is Loki, right? He's gonna basically like infiltrate them and then like destroy them from the inside. And they only know of his name as Loki, so after the legend, like after all of is said and done, once Ragnarok is over, humans like will continue to think that a, a certain way about these characters. Like people would think Magni and Ruda are brave, and Odin is an all-knowing father. I mean, all that shit, and they'll just say Loki is this trickster god that tricks all the gods, but realistically, he's actually Atreus fucking them up. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking because it's not so much like what he is as a character because he's a shape shifting god. He can change into different animals and different people and that kind of stuff, and he's good with language and all that kind of shit. So it just leads him to be able to be smarter than most people. He's able to trick people easier, and because of that, they name him the trickster god. But he's probably not a god of mischief. He's more of a god that was mischievous. You know what I mean? But we'll see, man. I want to see teenage Atreus fucking shit up, and I'm pretty sure if he's teenage Atreus, he's not just gonna use a bow. He'll probably have a bow in his arsenal, but he'll probably have some kind of blade weapon and shit too. Y'all know that Kratos actually exists in Greek myth? Not the Kratos that we know, but there is a Greek god named Kratos. He's the god of strength, which is actually kind of kind of fits. I know, man. I'm really hyped for the second game. It's my game of the generation thus far. Still, maybe maybe The Last of Us Two might change that, or maybe Ghost might change that. But as of right now, man, it's the game of the generation because it hits on all level. It hits on all level. It hits on story. It looks amazing, and the gameplay is incredible. So I like all of it. I didn't like the original God of War series because I like the story. I like the way it looks, and how grandiose it was. But the gameplay in the first three was not that good for me, man. Like I don't know what it is. It's not satisfying. Like it's not like a satisfying hack and slasher like Ninja Gaiden or Devil May Cry. You know what I mean? It wasn't on the same level when it comes to hack and slashers like that. But the shit was fire. You know what I'm saying? The over the top spectacle of it all is fire, but the gameplay of it was just alright. This new version, I like the gameplay. I think the spectacle is also amazing, and the narrative was great. I mean, it hits on everything. Like, can't beat it. I know you don't like the new one, Garuda, but I do. I think that's the epitome of what a game is. It hits on everything, right? And maybe Ghost and The Last of Us Two might be able to change that, but as of right now, man, them motherfuckers. That's it right there, bro. Well, I mean, also maybe it's just the technology of the time, right? But and also during that time is when hack and slashers was like king. There was so many of them, beat 'em ups and hack and slashers just everywhere. You know what I mean? It was a great time to be a gamer too. Like I love those type of games, and I'm kind of like remiss that when slowly moving away from those type of games. Like Devil May Cry 5 is a pure example of just a ridiculous nonsense over the top game. And it's fucking amazing. And but it's a big chance to take on something like that, you know? Yes, but Kratos beat Hercules in the prime of his life. He had a goatee at the time. This man has a full beard. The dude's grown. He's old as fuck now. You know what I'm saying? How come we don't take that into consideration? Kratos is old as fuck now compared to his younger counterpart. Like when he was young, he had all that rage in his heart too. It actually fueled him. His power come from his rage. Where do you think Spartan rage come from? And he's like living off of revenge. Of course, he was stronger than that. It makes sense. It does. Now he's grown as fuck. Now he old as fuck. He got a kid and shit now. You know what I mean? I'll give him that, but I was still the only one thing that bothered me about the new God of War, right? The only one tiny detail that bothered me is this motherfucker needs to upgrade his armor. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker needs to upgrade his armor. Upgrading his weapon, I can understand because it's a weapon, but Kratos wearing armor bothers me. Just the idea of this man wearing armor bothers me. Like I hope that they can find like some kind of element in RPG fashion to where you upgrade Kratos, not his armor, because that just doesn't make sense to me. right? Me too, Corey. I feel like that's very possible, but the only way that would be possible if Ghost can do a good job of creating a new way to approach open world. Because if it's just like any other open world game, I might not be able to give it a 10 out of 10. I spoke about the open world game before. You know how, like I mentioned, like every open world game plays exactly the same. And what I mean by that is not so much, you do exactly the same shit because you shoot explosive bow and arrows and have crazy slingshot trick weapons in Horizon, and in Days Gone, there's more, guns and bats and shit. But you know, it's all the same. You go to a point, and then you take over a castle so you can see the map, and then you go to a character. The character used to tell you, "Oh, my dad was over there, and we can't find him no more." And then there'll be like a thing that shows up there, and it shows you a yellow line to how to get there, and you get there, and you do whatever the fuck you do there, and then the mission's over. You know what I mean? Hopefully, Ghost can do new shit with how you interact with the map on an open world game. And if they're able to pull that off, whichever route they're trying to do, because they would win, in my opinion. Well, not so much that they have to do everything else too, gameplay and all that other shit, and story has to be fire too. But they need to be able to do that because if I'm just playing that game like any other open world game, it's not going to be that amazing anymore. Certain things will become like a chore. You ever like play? Um, you ever play a fucking open world game and then there's just one thing you don't like to do in the game, whichever type of mission it is. Like there's just one type of mission you don't like doing, and then you do all this other mission already, and then you just left with that one type of shit that you don't want to do, and you see it dotted all over the map, and you're like, I'm cool, right? I just don't want to do those things. I just don't wanna. Like it's just not fun. It's not that enjoyable to do that one activity. And in order for me to complete this game, I have to do those. Like I have to go to these like certain areas of the map and do that shit. I'm just good with it. You know what I mean? Just good with it. Yeah, Ghost is my over the Last of Us, mainly because it's new. Mainly it's because it's new and the gameplay look amazing. Last of Us very close second. Yeah, I mean the gameplay looks cool. It looks more reserved. It looks like you have to be more patient and more like deliberate when it comes to fighting the motherfucker. You can't just come in clicking random buttons and shit. You have to you know, watch for your openings and all that shit. It looks fire, man. I can't wait for that. But I hope they do like better as far as interactiveness with the environment, with the map itself and all that. But yeah, man, we went on all this other shit. I was supposed to talk about censorship, but the long and short of it is censorship doesn't help anything. It usually just hurts shit. It hurts the world you create, and it makes it not believable. And of course, they're all fantasy world, and realistically, no one would believe in it. But you have to make it believable for me to be in the moment of the game, and to censor anything, whether it's smoking, whether it's fucking extremely good looking women. You know what I'm saying? Extremely good looking dudes. Pause, but it is what it is. Females deserve to look at shit too. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like just whatever it is that you're trying to censor out your game. If it's if it doesn't um if it offends people, then it's actually doing something right. If you're actually offending a certain group of people, you're doing something right because it's causing them to have a reaction to it. You don't want everything to be cookie cutter. It's just not fun. Shadow, yeah, Shadow is great, man. The feelings it elicits from you is incredible. But I'm actually going back to playing God of War because I've been away from it so long. Like, you know what? Let me get back to it. And I'm playing on Give Me God of War mode, and I forgot how hard this motherfucker is. I was like, how the fuck did I complete this game the first time on that shit? And I'm saying the first two time on that shit, because shit's hard as fuck. I get hit like three times. I die from like a grunt, like from a simple ass grunt. I die from a simple ass grunt. Just getting hit like 2, 3 times, bro. I've been playing that all day. My brother came through. We played a little bit of Call of Duty and shit. But I've been playing God of War all day. I mean, I'm sitting here smoking a cigar right now, but you don't want to glamorize smoking. Like you shouldn't. But this to take it out of your game completely just basically means that your game, like smoking, doesn't exist in your world. Everything else exists, just not smoking. It is, man. I forgot how. No, no, I'm seriously. I'm just smoking a cigar right now. I'm not smoking. I've been sober for like damn near 3 weeks by choice. By choice. There's realistically no reason why I have to, but I just need to because I don't know if y'all smoke that much, but after you smoke for a while, you don't feel shit no more. You know what I'm saying? You just don't. You just smoke so much, you don't feel shit. You gotta like calm down off of it. That's what I do. I usually detox a couple of months here and there in between because if you keep going, you won't feel shit. You know what I'm saying? You won't feel shit, and it's just a waste of weed. It's a waste of money. Yeah, Corey. I mean, and certain games are like that. Certain games are more for the atmosphere and the storytelling, just like Detroit, than gameplay itself. But what I'm saying is, you can't hype me up without showing gameplay. You can't. You know what I mean? You just can't hype me without gameplay. It's just you're not gonna be able to do it. How? If you're not gonna show me what the fuck I'm doing in this game, why would I be hype about it? You know what I mean? Oh, you better die! Don't call me Danny. You better die. You'll be the first motherfucker to die from overdose of weed. Like, ladies and gentlemen, we found the first case. This motherfucker have this motherfucker smoked 5 blunts back to back, and then 8 edibles, and then went back to smoking blunts, and and he didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? You might be one of them. It's not even legal in my state, man. So I'm just like snitching on myself right now, but it's not even legal in my state yet. I'm pretty sure it will be. I'm pretty sure it'll be legal across the country here sooner or later. But yeah, man. Besides from that, is there anything else? I mean, we've been on here for a good solid hour and 40 something minutes. It's a decent amount, man. Um, I don't really got much else. Y'all got anything else? Uh, I'm probably just gonna go get some food and then come back to play fucking God of War, man. Get my ass beat some more. You know what's crazy? Now that I'm replaying God of War, the boss battles are actually way easier than just fighting the motherfucking grunts. Boss battles are super easy. Not a problem at all, but the grunts are fucking ridiculous hard. And I'm only at level 7. I beat Give Me God of War twice on level 7. You can get to like level 9 or level 10, I think. And I'm only on level 7. That's might be what it is. I might have to upgrade a little bit more. But yeah, man, I think I'm good. We should be able to end that right here. I mean, I appreciate y'all coming through, man. And like I mentioned earlier, I appreciate y'all keeping a level head about it and not, you know, jump to all kinds of shit over that whole nonsense in the last couple of days. I really appreciate that. I mean, when how do I put this? When shit goes down is when you know who's really good with you and who's not. You know what I mean? And for everyone out there who like kept a level head and at least spoke to me like a grown ass man, I appreciate that. But of course, my name is Royal Flush, aka Draco Rex, aka the Asian Gambit. I appreciate y'all for coming. I'm not gonna shout out all of y'all because I mean I don't know how motherfuckers with like hundreds and thousands of people on they chat do it, but I mean there's like 15, 16 of y'all here at a time, and I can't like I'm not gonna shout out y'all again. I said what's up to y'all when y'all came through. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all coming through though, man. I really do. I'll see y'all in like 2, 3 days on Tuesday on the round table. And for anyone who recently subbed, I know y'all did it because I saw Titanfall shit. Like I mentioned, you don't really know who's your homies until wow shit happened, right? I appreciate that, man. I really do. But don't sub to me just because she asked you to. I do appreciate it, but sub to me because you just like kicking it with me. If not, it's cool. I don't expect you to be here just what I'm saying, just because she asked you to. I do appreciate it, but you don't have to. But I really thank y'all for coming through, man. I'll see y'all next week. Deuces.